You know, I can only imagine what might have happened if you'd eaten this way during your MMA career. Because you said that you didn't eat great during your MMA career, right? Do you think this would have helped when you were fighting?
It would have helped. Um, it would have helped definitely. I believe, especially on the longevity of an. I think it could help also on the performance side, but I think especially on the longevity of a career, of the life of an individual. That's my main belief in terms of for MMA. I'm talking about. Um, for sure, when I was fighting, most of my pre-fight meal was I love pasta. I was eating a bowl of pasta with fettuccine alfredo, and I swear it's crazy. Crazy as it sounds, it was like my thing. I love pasta because you're never hungry before a fight. You kind of force yourself to eat, and I know everybody told me I was crazy, but it was working well for me. I never was someone who really pay attention of what I eat because I was able to get away with it, but it catch up on me at a certain point, and that's why I got diagnosed with ulcer colitis. And now I need to be aware of it, of what I'm eating, and I pay the price for all the stupid thing that I've done in the past.
You had an ACL injury in your MMA career, didn't you?
I had two ACL injuries, two, my left and my right.
Both legs. Wow.
If I would have known what I've known now, I would have incorporated that diet and also intermittent, time restricted eating and intermittent fasting into my life a long time ago. But the idea of eating animal based and especially fasting to me sounds preposterous, because I believe we all live in a society that we're bombarded by publicity all the time. Eat this, eat that, protein shake, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't, even if you would have told me that it was good, I would probably not have believed it until I got sick and I was forced to make a change. That's how crazy it is. Sometimes there's some lesson that can be learned and some lesson that cannot be taught. They need to be lived in order to learn.
I always wonder when I see athletes having issues with their back or their ligaments, would more protein, more collagen and animal foods have prevented this or have helped? I remember when I was in medical school, I think, 8 or 9 years ago, Brock Lesnar was fighting, and then he was out with diverticulosis and then diverticulitis. And so many of these athletes in MMA and across all the sports, I just wonder, like how much more longevity and how much more safe could these athletes be in terms of their joints and their ligaments, but also their brains in terms of the nutrients that we need to protect the brains by eating more nutrient-rich diets. So I'm excited. I mean, it's so cool that you did this, that you were brave enough to try it. And, I don't know, do you know Chito Vera? So he's fighting June 20th. He reached out to me as well. He's a 135.
I'm sorry, the sound cut. I think your mic cut.
Let me see.
No, I got you. I hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Chito Vera is a 135 guy in the UFC, and he saw what you were doing. He reached out to me. So he's eating animal-based before his upcoming fight and feeling good. And I'm just excited for more athletes to do it, just to help you guys have longer, more successful careers and not be, handicapped later on. I think you're one of the smart. I think your fight IQ, many would argue that your fight IQ is second to none. And it's incredible that you've gone through your career and you can still do all the things you want to do at the end of your MMA career. There are a lot of guys who have done jiu-jitsu or martial arts their life, and they end up with these incredible achievements and they go to these incredible mental places, but then physically they're handicapped later on. And so how cool is this? But just to be able to give people the ability to fight longer, to perform in whatever sport they want longer, it's an exciting thing. So I posted this post about your photo and I said, what questions should I ask GSP? And of course, everybody wants to know if you're coming back to fighting and if you're going to fight Khabib. And I've heard you talk about these, but I wanted to ask you on the podcast.
Listen, I'm going to explain to you this a whole thing that goes on, a crazy story that goes on about me fighting Khabib. we tried to make the fight with Khabib. I think it was 2 years ago. And we tried, we really tried, and the UFC did not want at the time. They said they had other plan for Khabib. Then very recently, a boxing fight with Oscar De La Hoya was proposed to me by Triller, and I'm still under contract with UFC. And I was interested to do it because it was something different. It was supposed to be 8 rounds, 2 minutes the round with bigger gloves. So the risk of injuries are much reduced. And, you know, I would never pretend that I think I could have beat Oscar De La Hoya in boxing when he was in his prime. But I think now, because he's older than me, he used to compete at a lighter weight class than I did. And also, maybe I believe he has more mileage than I do. For this reason, I think it would have made a fair fight. And also, he's my second favorite boxer of all time behind Sugar Ray Leonard. So I would have been cool at maybe at 75 years old. I can look back in my life and tell everybody, hey, I boxed with Oscar De La Hoya. It would have been fun. That's why I wanted to do it. And also, on top of that, a big part of the money would have been given to charity, because when I talked to Oscar and Mr. Khan, I told them that was one of my conditions, to prove that we don't take ourselves too seriously, because we're doing this I would say like a freak show for entertainment and for fun. We're not doing this to know who's the best in the world. I have no longer the desire to compete to become the best in the world right now. It's done. I'm 40 years old. I think my best years are probably behind me. So when that happened, I needed to have the blessing of Dana White. When I called Dana White, he refused. He didn't want it. And I understand why Triller they're a competitor to UFC. Not competitor in terms of to find out who's the best fighter, because that's not what Triller is about. It's about entertainment. It's about like a freak show. And it's good. It's different form of entertainment. And I'm not one of the guys who's gonna hate on the Logan Paul, the Paul brothers. I think it's great. It's entertainment. There's room for everything, I believe. So Dana White refused. And a few weeks after, because the thing went in the media, he called me back. He said, George, would you like to come back and fight Khabib? It's Dana who called me. It's not me who called Dana. And he caught me in a very special time, because I was just finishing my training. And when he called me, I was on the car and I put him on the Bluetooth. And he said, would you like to fight Khabib? I said, why you didn't want to do this 2 years ago? He said, Khabib was not who he was, and he was not retired. Now you're both retired. That would make sense. And I told him, I said, I thought it was weird that he changed his mind. So I said to him, I said, I never thought that you would ask me this. So this was out of my mind. So let me think about it, because now it's COVID. There's a lot of things that I need to consider if I go back into a training camp, and I'll get back to you. So I didn't talk to him for a few days. And now things came like blow up in the media saying like, oh, George asked to fight Khabib. I did not ask to fight Khabib. I'm good where I am. I'm retired, and I have no... If Dana would have not called me and asked me that, I would not have been excited about the idea. And I don't even know, quite frankly, if I would have said yes to Dana. I don't think I would have said yes. I'm good where I am. It's not something now. I don't have the desire anymore to compete to be the best in the world. Khabib, however, is different, because he's someone that never lost, and I don't know. But I don't even think I would have done it right now. I think it would be all over. So that's the true story about this whole thing that's going on right now. Like, people think that I asked for that fight. I did not ask for that fight. Dana is the promoter. He tried to make up fight, and it's not the first time that things happen that way. They're promoters. That's what they're trying to do. They try to put two guys against each other and make them fight. But I have the highest amount of respect for Khabib, and I think he had the perfect career. He retired with a perfect career, and right now, I don't think I have the desire to go back and fight again. I do not have the desire to fight again. You know what I mean?